It's done. Served her yesterday. I had her served yesterday. For those asking, I was in a good state of mind to write about it yesterday. Still not really, but I will get it off my chest. I woke up and left the house, got myself some breakfast while waiting for her to leave for work. Rented a truck, went back home, and changed the locks. My friend and her husband came over. He brought a friend, and we packed up her things. We loaded up our bedroom furniture that I got her as a wedding gift, my couch, my dining table, just all the furniture she defiled. Took it to storage. Put all her clothes in garbage bags. Was going to throw her dirty clothes in with the clean, but my friend wouldn't let me. We got done after 11 a.m. At around lunchtime, I bought flowers and chocolates and went to her work. I went and gave her the flowers, and Candy gave her a big hug and a kiss. She was all smiles and blushes. Her coworkers were doing the "oh, that's so sweet" thing. I told her that I would love to take her to lunch, but I had to go get a checkup on my leg, but to not make plans for the night because I wanted to give her a night she would remember. I gave her a goodbye kiss and started walking out. At this point, I'm going to start calling her GM, Tom, or FT. As I was leaving, I saw her boss and gave him a big smile and said, "Hey Tom, how are you?" Gave him a wave and left. Then I went and got some lunch. At 2 p.m. a deputy would be walking into my wife's work to serve her. At 2 p.m. I was standing in front of FT's house. I texted him the picture I took on the day I caught them. I took a selfie in front of his house and sent that too. I knocked on the door and Mrs. FT answered. She knows me a little bit from parties and things my wife's work had. I told her that my wife and her husband were having an affair. She didn't believe me. I showed her that first picture I took, and I showed her a selfie they took while my wife was giving him on my couch, and she slapped me. I just stood there and she started crying. I gave her a thumb drive with everything pertaining to my wife and her husband that I had. I told her my wife was cheating on me with multiple men. Get checked for STDs. I gave her my lawyer's card and my number. Then she asked why was I doing this to her. And to be honest, why did I do that? I hurt her pretty bad. I feel like the biggest piece of for doing that. I told her she had a right to know and felt likened for giving her that answer. As I was leaving, that's when my phone started blowing up. Didn't answer any calls or texts. I just went home. When I got home, I changed my FB status to divorced. I started reading the texts from my wife. What are you doing? I messaged her back and told her she could come to the house at 7 p.m. and not 1 minute before to get her clothes. Apparently, FT didn't tell her what I did right away, as I imagine he had his own problems at the moment. But my wife sent me a text a little later, me up and down for telling Mrs. FT. So he did tell her. My friend that covered up for my wife, gonna call her Amber, started calling me. So I answered. I answered with, "How long have you known that my wife and FT were having an affair? Please don't lie to me." And she told me what I suspected. The whole time. Since before my wife and I had met. The whole time. All this time, I was the side piece. My whole marriage is a sick joke. Let me tell you, that's a bitter pill to swallow. I asked her why she didn't tell me. She said it's because they thought I would go, get violent and such. I told her that she knew me better than that. She said she kept it secret because she was her friend. What about me? I wasn't. I asked her if I knew her husband was cheating, wouldn't she want me to tell her? As a friend, wouldn't I be obligated to let her know something she should know? She said yes. So I hung up and sent her pictures my wife had taken of her and her husband and texted her back with my lawyer's number and said that my lawyer has everything I know. Then I told her never to contact me again. At about 4 p.m., my wife showed up at the house and found out about the locks. She started banging on the door and yelling. I didn't answer. She tried calling again. I turned my ringer off. Then she broke a window and left. At close to 7 p.m., 2 deputies parked out front. One is one of the people that helped me move stuff earlier. His wife showed up, also my friend. 7 p.m. rolls around and my wife showed up. She looked pretty subdued. Pretty sure her and Amber had gotten into it by then. I gave her clothes, the storage key and address, my lawyer's card. Told her that all contact with me will be through her. My wife started with the "I love you. We can work this out. She's sorry. She loves me. A mistake. She doesn't love them." It didn't mean anything. I just pointed at my lawyer's card. She said that it's her house too and I can't kick her out. I told her it's my home and that she literally herself out of it. This when she got really loud. All the "I love yous" turned into "yous" and "I hate yous." The deputies turned on their lights and neighbors had come out to gawk at the train wreck. I remained fairly calm and had my hands at my side through this. She kept screaming at me. I think she might have been drinking. She started crying that she had nowhere to go, and when I told her that I don't care. Well, I learned something new about my wife. She can throw a right. Gave me a fat lip and a nose. I didn't move. I just stood there and let her do it. She tried scratching my face. The deputies restrained her. I declined pressing charges. Told them to just make her leave. They filed an incident report so I could get a TRO. Actually, I'm glad she did that. When she left, I went back in, and while I was cleaning myself up, all that I should have been feeling for the last 2 months started to hit me. I'm pretty exhausted right now. I thought I would feel better after this all got out. I don't. I feel awful. I'm not someone prone to crying, but I've been doing a lot of that since last night. There's almost 600 unanswered texts and calls on my phone and growing. I'm going NC with our mutual friends. I don't want any of them trying to mediate things. I'll sort them out some other time. I didn't call my son last night. I've always called him every night. I'll tell him tonight. He'll probably not be upset by the news. He wasn't fond of her. Story 2. Being told I got cheated on with my girlfriend of 10 years. Hi everyone. I am currently in a very messy situation and not sure where I stand with any of this, so I'll make it quick. I have been dating my girlfriend for nearly 10 years now, both from Guyanese, and everything had been absolutely great till recently. I'm just going to lay it out from the beginning. She is what many say nowadays, very thick, or thick, and has always been the one that catches eyes and has had guys come up and make moves on her continuously, which always bothered me to a certain extent. However, everything on our end had been going great to my knowledge, so I worked my off and made the decision the other day that she's the one I want to spend the rest of my life with and proposed to her, and she was more than happy and said yes. I made a post about it to celebrate on my Instagram, and shortly after that I got a message from a black guy. I don't mean to be racist by any means, as I'm brown-skinned myself, telling me that he's happy for us, but also mocking me and saying to know that he might girl a bunch while they were in university and she was with me. Checks out, he's right about university, and they was in the same program. My heart dropped, and I just left it as it is and told him that he's full of. He replies, believe what you want, but your girl told me herself she loves BBC. Now, I've been purposely ignoring my girlfriend cause I'm in total disbelief as to what this guy is saying, and when I confronted her a bit she started getting offended. I asked a few of my close friends, and they are saying that they believe what the guy is saying is true, and probably isn't the first time she's cheated on me with a black guy, either, considering the last message he sent. Who do I believe now? I'm not sure what or who to believe, and it's killing me. Please, any advice or opinions as to what's happening. Talk to her properly with the text and clear the air. Do not lose your cool. Watch her reactions closely. If she gaslights you or tries to put the blame on you, then end the conversation and the relationship and walk away. She's not from Queens, is she? 'Cause that would make sense. Message the dude and be like, I'm about to marry this girl, and what you're saying can make or break it. If what you said is true, you need some evidence, like text or not. Don't ask for pics or videos, because that'll just break your heart. Honestly, though, does not sound promising for you. I think you have a different perception about relationships from mine. I would consider long-term relationships are just as serious as marriages. Some people just preferred not to get married, but it's not like they are not committed.